The story of the young Sakuta Azusagawa begins on May 29th when he picks up a notebook from his desk and sees that it contains a story about how he met a girl dressed as a bunny. From there, we go back to May 6th, when this happened. The protagonist went to a bookstore to buy some books, and out of nowhere, a girl with very distinctive clothing appeared. She goes unnoticed by everyone, and apparently, only the young man can see her. Moreover, he can also interact with this beautiful girl who says hi and leaves. The protagonist follows her because he recognizes her as Mai, who attends the same school as him. Both are students at Minagahara High School, where the boy is in the second year and the girl is in the third. However, the brunette tells him to forget everything he just saw and not to get involved with her in the future. But of course, Sakuta won't forget such a bunny girl anytime soon. The next morning, he wakes up with his younger sister by his side, and on the way to school, the young man asks his friend Kunimi if he likes girls dressed as bunnies. Of course, his friend loves that kind of woman. But as they approach the school, all the students crowd the street, and that's when Sakuta notices Mai in front of him. Apparently, the girl is a celebrity who took a break from her career to focus on her studies. His friend says she might be a difficult girl to win over, but at that moment, his girlfriend, called here, arrives to take her beloved away. After some research, the young man discovered that the famous girl appears very little at school because, even though she took a break from her career, she already had filming contracts and therefore missed an entire semester of classes. The fact that the newcomer arrived only in the middle of the year was bad for socialization because all the groups had already formed, and she was left alone. After the explanation, Saki appears again, but this time to tell the protagonist to stop talking to his friend Kunimi. The poor guy doesn't want to interfere with their relationship, but because the boy isn't very popular, it might make Kunimi less popular too. Hearing this, the guy says she will also become less popular if she talks to him, which makes her all irritated. On the way home, Mai is recognized by an idiot, and our hero decides to save her from this harassment. After the guy leaves, the girl thanks him for the kind gesture, and for the first time, they talk in public, although the subject is that scene in the bookstore. Changing the subject, she says she already knows about the rumor about Sakuta. He fought and sent 3 other students to the hospital, which ruined his image on the internet. There are speculations about what might have happened. The maiden doesn't judge before knowing what really happened, and in this sense, they even have something in common, being judged by others. Now, about that scene in the bookstore, Mai explains that it all started when she was 6 years old when she became an actress. The girl's career grew very quickly, and it became exhausting to the point where she wanted to escape from everything. But one day, she went to an aquarium, and for the first time, people didn't recognize her or bother her for being a celebrity. Since then, for some reason, she is no longer recognized in certain places. That's why she wears a bunny costume to list which areas these are. After all, this outfit draws a lot of attention, making it easier to know who can see her. The story is confirmed when she goes to buy a sweet, and the attendant only sees the protagonist. The young man comments that this might be a case of adolescent syndrome, and before saying goodbye, he wants to show her something. Everything seems very suspicious with the two alone in the room, but the young man starts to take off his shirt to show a huge scar on his chest. She touches the wound in a very subtle way, and obviously, the young man takes advantage of it. Then he shows a photo of his sister all bruised after suffering bullying on the. For some reason, when the girl is insulted by others, some mysterious wounds appear on her body. As for the scar, he just woke up one day with this cut on his chest, which gave rise to rumors at school. Apparently, both went through very crazy situations, and at that moment, they are caught by Sid, who arrives suddenly. The younger sister thinks her brother is doing adult things, but everything is resolved with the two introducing themselves. The girl doesn't recognize the celebrity because she doesn't watch TV, and also stopped using the internet because of the strange wound. In this conversation, Sakuta advises his colleague to return to the artistic world because it might be the best solution for what's happening to her. But Mai doesn't like this at all and leaves abruptly. After that day, she no longer attended school, and that's when the protagonist realized the mistake he made. Researching on the internet, he found many false rumors about the celebrity. He becomes thoughtful about this at work, where he serves a TV presenter named Fumika, who went to the diner because she wants to do a story about Sakuta's hospitalization incident. The protagonist asks if she knows anything about Mai's career break, and the woman says she might know a thing or two, but of course, she will want something in return. Back at school, his friend Futaba is happy to see that the young man is interested in another girl. The two talk about Mai's possible invisibility, and the scientist says she doesn't believe much in it because there is no evidence. But at dusk, the idiot realizes something and runs home, where he finds the brunette sitting in the hallway, starving. More people have stopped seeing her presence, and because of that, the poor girl can't even shop. So the protagonist gives her his cream bread, which she loves so much. The next day, the scientist friend starts explaining some things she has been researching, and the protagonist understands that it might be related to Mai's condition. On May 20th, the two go shopping, and apparently, people don't notice the things the brunette is. So they conduct an experiment with the brunette ending up on the young man's arm, who is thinking about various indecency. But as the new couple leaves, Sakuta touches on the sore spot and now talks about the real reason for her career break, which was a bikini photoshoot contract. Mai's mother and manager signed a contract for her to pose in skimpy clothes, even though she was still young, so she decided to escape from that life. After some time, the girl wanted to return to the artistic life, but before that, she needs to know how the protagonist got this information. He tells her it was with the TV presenter Fumika, and in exchange for this information, he let the woman take a photo of his scar to do a story about adolescence syndrome. The brunette warns that this is very bad because this exposure will make his and his younger sister's lives a living hell. So Mai calls the presenter and asks for the story not to air on TV in exchange for an exclusive interview when the celebrity returns to her career. This return is not a lie because the student really wants to be an actress again, but before that, she wants to invite Sakuta to accompany her during Sunday afternoon. Then May 25th finally arrives, and the young man tries his best to choose the right outfit. But on the way, he sees a lost child, and when he goes to help, a random girl gives him a good kick, thinking he's doing something wrong. But seeing it's a misunderstanding, the aggressor asks to be kicked to make up for the aggression, and the idiot does it just as a guard is passing by, causing both to end up at the police station to get a good scolding from the guard. Only then does he realize he's late, and upon arriving at the station, fortunately, Mai hasn't left. She asks why the young man is helping her so much, and it's simply because he doesn't like seeing a beautiful girl in distress alone. It was more or less like this when his sister started having mysterious wounds, and no one believed her. Only one person understood this situation and helped the girl overcome it. Mai immediately recognizes that this person is a woman, and with jealousy, the brunette gets off the train, a bit upset. But continuing the story, Sakuta met a girl named Shoko, whom he fell in love with and moved to Minagahara High School. But upon entering the new school, there was no student with that specific name. Whether she was real or not, the protagonist's feelings of love and gratitude were genuine. After this story, Mai's mother and manager appear at her daughter's request. She leaves the young man to go talk to her about her career, but apparently, even the mother can't see her own daughter. Not only her, but everyone in the city doesn't remember who the famous actress named Mai is. Not even the TV presenter remembers who she talked to the day before. To her, it was Sakuta who called. The brunette is very sad for becoming invisible to everyone's eyes, but our warrior won't leave her alone in this. Suddenly, he suggests they embark on an adventure in the middle of the night to the city of Ogaki to see if in another city, people can see her. There, the station employee also doesn't know any celebrity named Mai. But then the two go to a hotel room, and while the maiden takes a bath, Sakuta calls his friend in the middle of the night to see if he remembers the famous student. To our surprise, he remembers the brunette very well, and when he calls Futaba, the scientist friend also remembers, and she will think of a theory to solve this mystery. The couple goes out once more to do some shopping and ends the night in the same bed in the room. The girl feels very insecure about the possibility of disappearing from the world, but fortunately, the hero is there to give her confidence. This causes a certain silence, and Mai asks if they can kiss, but the boy jokes and misses this one and only chance. After that, she sleeps like a rock while he stays awake all night. Thus, they return to school, and everything seems to be in order, but Futaba appears, saying that everyone has already forgotten the celebrity. Even their friend has forgotten. Apparently, she and the protagonist only remember because they didn't sleep during the night, and her previous theory seems to be real. Because everyone doesn't know about Mai's existence due to that general feeling of ignorance, and maybe sleeping is what triggers this forgetfulness. That's why the protagonist becomes very thoughtful for the rest of the day. Then, after clocking out, the young man goes to the corner store and buys a strong coffee to make sure he won't fall asleep. When he gets home, he starts writing in a green notebook the whole story about meeting a bunny girl. The next morning, the young man wakes up very worn out, and his companion makes sure to fix his tie. That day marks the first day of exams, and due to the fatigue of staying awake for so long, Sakuta is almost falling asleep during the test. During the break, he goes to talk to Futaba in the hallway, and the scientist friend no longer remembers their theory, which means the thought is correct. So the young man buys more energy drinks to look for answers in physics books. On the second day of exams, the poor guy is even more worn out, And this time, Mai watches everything from a distance. She confronts Sakuta outside the convenience store and invites him to help her with his night studies. If the student gets a 10 on the test, he will earn a good reward from the bunny girl. But after some questions, the student falls asleep thanks to a sleeping pill the brunette put in his coffee. She noticed her friend's effort and decided to put an end to it. Unfortunately, this farewell will seal his forgetfulness. And that's when we reach the current moment that appears at the beginning of the anime, where he reads the things written in the green notebook. The problem is that Mai's name mentioned in the text is erased as if she really didn't exist. Thus, the protagonist continues his life, unable to remember. But upon arriving at school, he receives a letter from Futaba, which she said to give to her friend. In this letter, the theory she made was written. Then the third day of exams begins normally until the questions make the student gradually recall his moments with the bunny girl. Soon, the crazy guy runs out in the middle of the exam, thinking he will have to face this atmosphere of ignorance. And upon reaching the gym, he starts shouting to the whole school his love for Mai. And as he shouts like a madman that he loves her, little by little, the students go to the window to pay attention. To our surprise, the brunette appears to slap him for forgetting her. Romance fills the air, and it seems all the students at the school can see the forgotten student again. With this issue resolved for now, on June 20th, the two best friends are surprised by the protagonist's courage and craziness. In the end, it's impossible to know if the scientist friend's theory was correct, but it's possible that a declaration of love can indeed change the world. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. If you've made it this far, it means you enjoyed our work. To show your support, please comment the magical word Bunny Girl, and I'll make sure to give your comment a heart. Your engagement means the world to us and helps our nerdy Dynasty community grow. See you in the next recap.